It is April and things are starting to warm up here. Good job surviving winter. I know that can be a little trickier in places that actually get cold. It's almost time to start gathering firewood again soon. And I'm worried about the heat this summer driving around in Dig Dug, so I am starting to install the AC system in this truck today. And I have all the good parts from Vintage Air to begin doing that. Check these out. There's a lot of parts here to get this all installed in the truck, but fortunately the kit comes with really good instructions. I actually got this whole kit a while back because I needed to install the blockout plate on the Firewall, and there's a bunch of components that you take out, you don't have to reuse. Let me show you those really quick. This big thing right here was attached to the Firewall under the hood, and this is the piece that's inside the cab. Both of these got removed and they all get replaced with this. This is a much smaller, sleeker unit and it saves a ton of room under the hood. Right in here is where that giant box went. So it opened up a ton of space. There's a few holes in it so that I can get my AC and heater hoses through. I'm really excited to get the AC and the heat installed and working in this truck because having AC is the #1 way to get your wife to go off-roading or on a ride with you. It's true, and that's why all the side-by-sides now are starting to come enclosed, and I think some of them even have AC in them now. We will get Angela out here later and see if she will confirm that unprompted. It's time to dig into these instructions and figure out what we need to do first. I think how this works is the main evaporator blower motor box here is universal and could go in tons of different vehicles. And then Vintage Air sells kits to mount it into specific vehicles like square body Chevys. So I've got some parts that I need to bolt onto this to make it fit in my truck. It's pretty cool. It looks really nice and it's very compact. I think this is going to work great. There's some parts that I need to attach to this to make it work. The first one is this bracket here. And there's these cool rubber nuts that I'm going to use. I think they work kind of like a riv nut. When you screw this in, the rubber expands and locks onto the body here. Oh yeah, that locked on good and tight. That's going to work. Good and tight. Let's see, there's something that needs to go on this side. Oh, there's some plugs in these other holes because I don't use them. This bracket's going to go on with a couple of screws. These vents go on the different openings here to control airflow to different places. They go on with these little metal clips that I normally see on air filter boxes. This one goes on the side here. I don't know if it has an up and down. There's one more over on this side that I think does the floor vents. These right here are the lines for the heater hose, so these adapters need to bolt onto those. They're serious about their plugs. They don't want anything getting into this stuff. These adapter fittings for the coolant lines have little O-rings that go inside, and you're supposed to oil them. It comes with this oil. I'll just put a dab of that on there. One dab. That was like 2 dabs. I've also got adapters that need to fit up on these lines. This one goes up here somehow, like that. And I think this one's gonna go there. they've got those same little O-rings that I need to attach. The instructions say I need to wrap this gooey, sticky tar tape around the number 10 line coming out. And I think that's because this line is really cold and you'll get condensation on it, which could drip into the truck or somewhere inside. So I'm gonna wrap that up just like it says. I know this stuff looks like some kind of black licorice fruit leather, but don't taste it. All right, I gotta stop right here because Angela's here, so now we have an opportunity to ask her the questions. And Angela never lies. I mean, she'll lie like if you ask her like, hey, did you like the Godzilla movie? She'll be like, yeah, it was fine. But she doesn't lie about important stuff like this. So, have you been prompted at all on what I'm gonna ask you?
No, and I'm not good on the spot. I wish I was.
No, it's okay. This is just like your opinion question.
Okay.
What is the number one thing I could do to this truck, or anybody could do to their truck to get their wife to come off-roading with them?
Air conditioning.
Oh, there it is right there. Air conditioning?
Like hands down. Do you know where we live?
Yeah, okay.
It's hot. Yes.
All right. What about in the winter?
In the winter, a windshield.
Okay. That's a good answer.
A heater.
A heater, windshield,
Yes.
things to keep her warm. So when she's comfortable, she likes to go off-roading. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There we go. We have it straight from Angela, and I'm sure your wife feels exactly the same way.
I'm sure she does.
Okay, we're gonna get back to work here. Thanks for playing our game.
You bet. Happy to help.
The first thing that I'm gonna do on the truck side is install this plate that blocks off this big hole over here for fresh air to come in. It says to use silicone to lock it on there, but I've got some of this window urethane sealer left over, so I'm gonna give that a try. What could go wrong? That'll all get covered up later. Next, I think I gotta do something about all these wires. I poked them through the holes where the AC lines and the heater lines need to run, so I've got to pull those all back out and route them someplace permanent. A bunch of this stuff's got to get chopped out of here, and it's probably time to redo it right. These are all the vent lines. These over here are the locker lines. They'll need to come all the way up from the lockers back through this hole. A bunch of these lines need to get pushed back through the hole. These wires are actually in the right spot, but there's a big grommet that needs to get installed on the firewall. So this is the time to do that as well. This is the grommet or the boot that needs to go into this hole. So I need to open that up a little bit. There we go. All right, I've been out here quietly working away in my shop, and these two guys, Ashton and Sterling, just stopped in, and they asked me if I want to go for a ride in a Raptor. And they were pretty convincing, so I'm going, and I'm going to bring you along with me.
Sweet. We have candy in there too.
Oh, two guys with a Raptor and candy. How could I say no?
Come on to the truck. We've got candy.
Bad influence. I am in the Raptor right now, and there's cameras everywhere. There. I'm changing the batteries in this one. He's got a camera.
Yep.
There's one outside over here. They've even got a drone outside. Kind of crazy. All right, let's check out this Raptor. About your Raptor.
So this Raptor, I waited for it for 2 years. This is 2024. So they built the Raptor R for the first time in 2023. 2024, I ordered it and waited and waited and waited. Took 2 years, finally got it. Had to pay a little over MSRP to get it. But it's a supercharged 5.2 liter V8 Predator motor, the same one that comes in the GT 500s.
Okay. So how many horsepower in this?
Came stock with 720, and after the Whipple, it's got 970.
You have the Whipple in?
The Whipple is in.
So we've got 970 horsepower here that we're going to try and unleash, or at least I'm going to talk him into that in a minute.
Let's show it. You gotta show it. We gotta show you.
All right.
Because it's beautiful. I didn't get the regular black one. Okay. It's black superchargers.
That's cool. Oh yeah, rev it up. That is the coolest sound. I love that.
That is.
That's awesome.
So all of my other Raptors, V6, well, except for the Gen 1, it had a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8. And then the rest of them had a twin turbo V6.
All right. I'm not a Raptor guy, but this is pretty cool.
If you were to sell Dig Dug, this would be your replacement.
That's not going to happen. Don't worry about that.
This doesn't rock crawl.
It doesn't rock crawl?
It does very poorly.
Ashton's over here syncing all these cameras. I have no idea what he's doing. I just have one.
Except for the dang thing is it's too bright outside, so I always have to do this and like hide in some dark corner just to get it to. There we go. Okay.
If his video's all out of sync, that's his problem.
That's my problem.
We had a great time cruising around in the Raptor, and Sterling and Ashton have their own YouTube channel called Sterling's Wild West. You can check out the interview with me on their channel. It should drop today. All right, we are back. Sterling and Ashton took me on a super fun ride. Don't worry, I was not abducted, but don't ever do that. Don't ever get in a car with just random people that show up.
Strangers.
Thanks, guys. That was super fun.
Thanks,
Tom.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll see you.
See ya.
Right now, I want to thank the sponsor for today's video, which is Sunday, the lawn care company. You can get the lush green lawn you've always wanted without using harsh chemicals. Our lawn wasn't looking that good last fall, and we wanted to get it off to a great start this spring, and Sunday checked all the boxes. Simple, convenient, no harsh chemicals, and a customized plan for our yard.
The ordering process is quick and easy. Just answer a few questions about your yard and location. Sunday will make a unique plan specifically for your lawn and soil type. You'll have zero guesswork with a subscription of seasonal applications tailored to your soil, your climate, and your unique needs.
Your lawn plan will come with a soil test kit, which will be used to tailor fit a plan specifically for your yard. Sunday ships free right to your door and has easy step-by-step application instructions on your account. They have a liquid fertilizer and a granular fertilizer, so grab your hose or spreader and apply.
Sunday has no unwanted chemicals, ingredients you can pronounce, and is better for people, pets, and the planet.
To try Sunday Lawn Care, use code TOMTOM30 for 30% off your first custom Sunday plan. I got all the wires pulled out and the firewall cleaned up and ready to go. So I'm ready to install this in the CAD. And let me show you what's in the way there. A couple more things I gotta remove. The AC is gonna go down here, and this electrical panel's in the way right now. So I've gotta drop this down so I can access some of the holes I need to drill to screw in the mounts. Yeah, it feels like I just put this in here. And that's kind of what building cars is putting things together and taking them apart over and over and over again. But that's all right. This is gonna work. I'm really excited to have the AC going. It will be nice. Okay, I'm going to try and leave this panel hooked up and just lay it out of the way, because now I can get to this whole area, and I'm going to have to drill some holes and screw some things into the cowl right here. What is ticking? I don't know, but I got to go stop it. That's driving me crazy. Down here in this area is where the holes will go through for the AC lines and for the heater lines. And I think there's even a drip line that goes through on this low one. Oh, there it is. There's something in the door just wobbling back and forth. I thought Rob hid another one of those chirping cricket electronic things in my shop somewhere. There's a little metal spot that needs to get trimmed down in here. Then I can go grab the whole AC box and see if it's gonna fit. I think I can just knock it down with a Flappy Bird. That should work perfect. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of paint before I cover it up so it doesn't rust. And I've also got 2 grommets that I need to install in the holes over here. I'm ready to install the whole box now. And if everything works out right, these will line up with the grommets, and these will line up with the holes, and the bolt holes will be over here. Let's go see how it fits. Somehow I need to hold this thing in place while I go tighten up these bolts on the other side. I probably need to go get Angela's help. Sometimes I just can't do it without Angela's help. And this is one of those times. I'm back. I've got Angela under the hood here. Wave, Angela.
Hi.
Okay, she's gonna put in the bolts while I hold this up in place. You ready? Oh, whoa, whoa. I'm not. You're ahead of me. Okay, try that top one. Pull that top one out. Okay, now try it again. Okay, now start screwing it while you're gonna have to turn it with that ratchet probably, because those threads have paint in them. Looks like it's going. Get like 4 or 5 turns, and then let's try to get the other one lined up. Okay, that one is great. It looks like it's good and stable here. There's a couple more screws up here that I can drill and put some self-tappers in up to the cowl, and then it should be in there really, really good. Thanks, Angela.
No problem.
You saved the day.
I'll do anything for AC.
Awesome. This is where all the lines are poking out, and it looks like I'll be able to get to them without any trouble. I'm giving it some wiggles, and it feels a lot better. I think the next thing to do is install these vents up here in the vents so that I'll actually have defrost in that truck. Never had that before. So there's 2 nozzles right here that I think go to the left and right defroster. And I'm gonna have to modify these a little bit because there's nothing stock about this truck, but I should be able to make them work. This should sit nice and flush underneath that dash panel. I'm just gonna have to make some little tweaks to these bolt hole locations. Okay, Those should work. I just got to go find some bolts to hold this in place. I think I want the open piece on this end so I can attach the hose and it'll fit right up in there. Oh, I'm getting that glue all over my fingers. I'm hoping the glue will stop any squeaks. This vent went together really good, and it's a nice short little run to route the air duct up to the vent. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing over on the other side. I'm not gonna run all the ducts right now, but I wanna get the two that go to the vents for the window because they'll be really hard to get to after I put everything back in. Oh yeah, this stuff's just cut nice with scissors. That's fun. We'll go see if that works. I know it's hard to see in here, but I think if I smash that into an oval shape, it should hook on right here. And then it just has to hook up over here. I wonder if you have to screw it on or just push it on. Oh, that went pretty easy. I've got the AC unit all installed in there, but I've also got a giant mess. I need to clean that up, and for you, it'll happen like that. There it is, all cleaned up and looking good. Check this out. It is the next morning, and Route 9 gave me a call and said they're ready to work on the Jeep engine today, so I'm gonna head over there and see what's going on. Let's go see if Dave's ready for us. When I got inside, Dave had the engine block all cleaned up and sitting on the boring machine. These are forged pistons and they require a little bit bigger clearance than the typical cast pistons. There's a little silver dot on each side of the piston that Dave used to measure their diameter. He measured them to 1/10 of a thousandth of an inch. Put a new edge on that cutter?
We're certainly trying to.
He used that measurement to set up the diameter of the boring head. The head of the boring machine floats on air like a hockey puck on an air hockey table. It has 4 pawls that extend from the sides that center the head in the cylinder. After it was centered, the boring head started to rotate like a giant drill bit, and it left behind a super fine finish on the cylinder walls. He's got the first hole done here, and he's gonna take a measurement really quick to make sure that this one's right before we do all the rest of them. After they're done on this machine, they'll come over here and get honed, and that's where we put the crosshatch in it. The big abrasive cone was used to put a little chamfer on the edge of the cylinders, and that helps guide the rings into the bore when the pistons are installed. So that gauge is telling him if the top or the bottom is big or small, and so he can adjust accordingly. Running this machine is an art.
So every time it's at the top. It's at the top. It's at the top. And it watches, you know, you got very little, but at the top it's a little, see how it pulls up a little bit at the top. If I came in here and just worked my top a little bit, we could get rid of that little bounce at the top.
Very cool.
So it's not.
It is load. That's what it's telling you. It's how hard the engine's working to pull it through that area.
You kind of look at this. I learned to look at it out of the corner of my eye. You're not really watching that meter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I never see these. I just don't see them for whatever reason.
You're focused on
this rhythm going, and I'm going, okay, it's not to sound funny, but if you do it long enough, you really don't look at that. You feel it.
You can feel it.
You know what I mean? I can feel when it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
but
resistance.
in reality, and like this, you can set, this will count strokes. So it'll count down from whatever you set. So realistically, if I came in here and counted if I set that at 100, let this thing do its thing, okay, it's done at 85 strokes. Then I can set that at 85.
Gotcha. And it'll stop. Yeah.
Almost 2. On the top.
This block has been bored and honed, and this is the final finish on it now. All right, we're going to stop for today right there, and I will come back another day. We'll finish decking this engine, put in the cam bearings, then I'm ready to take it home and get it put back together. I'm back working in the shop, and I've got one last piece of the AC system to install before I can put the hoses on. That is this thing right here, the dryer. I need to get it mounted up in here somewhere. Once I do that, I can put in the hoses and fill the system. And I'll be at Resurgence Automotive next week, and they have the crimper for those hoses. So I want to get this done right now. I think I can get it to fit right in here. Normally it would go over here somewhere, but it's not going to work with my transmission cooler. The kit came with these clamps. I'm going to try and use these to mount it back in here. I've got a big hole here that I should be able to fit the line and the fitting through. So let's trace out the path here. I'm going to have to make a hose that'll go from the compressor through the firewall to the condenser, or this big heat exchanger on the front. Then another one that goes from the condenser up to the dryer, and then one from the dryer back to the evaporator. That's the AC unit that's inside the truck. And then another one that comes back out of the evaporator back to the compressor. So I've got 4 lines to make, and I'll make those next week, hopefully, while I'm at Resurgence Automotive. I still need to mount some controls inside the cab and some vents and stuff, but after I get the hoses done, I should be able to turn it on and see if it's gonna work. Let's try to get this last piece mounted in there. All right, that looks like it's gonna work. Let's poking out right here. There is a sight glass on the top of that dryer, and I'm not gonna be able to see it. It's up here. So I think I could drill a little hole right in here, and then I'll be able to peek down in there and make sure that the system's full. Yeah, it actually fits in there really nice, and I think I've got room to route all the hoses around. All the components for the AC system are mounted in the truck now, and I've got a really fun trip planned next week. I'll be up at Resurgence Automotive, and they're gonna help me put in the hoses and get the system charged. After that, maybe I'll be able to get Angela to do a little off-roading with me. Thanks for watching.